What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another finance segment here on Stay Fit and Active. Today's video is going to be a little, I don't know what it's going to be, but I was just thinking about, money, finance, where we are right now as a collective mind, things happening in the world, etc., etc. And it got me thinking, if I were to give any piece of advice to someone that is very new to money, I have an 18-year-old brother. 18, 17, I think he's 18 now. I have an 18-year-old brother. If he were to come to me and say like, hey, I need like some financial advice, for my next 10 years, like what would I say to him? So if you're at any age of your life really and kind of wanting to revamp your financial health, then this video is going to be for you. So let's dive right in. First thing I would do as someone starting over on my financial health journey is to get clear on my relationship with money and understanding where it is healthy and where it is not, okay? Because a lot of times, we don't realize it, but we have a very negative view on money. We have a negative relationship to it. It doesn't give us good feelings. And, I hate to say it, but that energy matters. And I was seeing a creator on social media one time talking about, I can't remember her name, but she made this post about saying that pretty much God, spirit, universe, whatever you connect with, doesn't care about your morals, right? Like there's a reason that there's people that are evil in this world that still prosper. And, I don't have to name them. We all know who they are. And that's because like on a spiritual level, they believe they deserve these things, right? Like there's no doubt in their mind that like they deserve the money, they deserve the billion, they deserve the financial help, like whatever they decide to do with that doesn't matter. It's the fact that their energy is saying, I deserve this. And so they get it. And so in order for us to be able to tap into that energy, we first have to get clear on where our energy is currently and what we need to break out of, because a lot of times we don't believe we deserve certain things because we've been conditioned to think that, right? We have to change our mindset on that. But also when we get those things, then we question it. You might put the feelers out there like, hey, like, I deserve this thing. I want this thing. And then you randomly get a $10,000, $20,000, whatever check or gift from someone. And then you start questioning it. Like, oh, I don't deserve this. Like, or how did I get this? Or like, I should, I have all these negative, feelings to it. And so that's just counterproductive to your goals. But once you really can allow that abundance to flow in your life, and that's something that, I struggle with a lot. Things just naturally become better for you. Okay, so first thing is just getting clear on your relationship with money and aligning yourself much better to at least a neutral space, if anything. You don't have to already be like in that full abundance, like I deserve all this, because you're not going to go from lack to abundancy in a day, right? It takes some time to build that, but as you're building it, just try to get yourself to a neutral space before you can then take it even further. Let's be realistic in our steps and not put too much pressure on ourselves. The second thing is to be clear on what money does for you and why you feel you need it. Because when you can do that, you can actually put an amount on it. We're always told like, oh, let's be millionaires and billionaires. And then when you think about it, does anyone really need that much money? Like we have people starving all around the world. Like, do you really need that much money? So it's like, but you can get clear on what it is you're truly after. For example, if you have it in your mind, okay, I want $1 million, fine. But like, for what? Because if it's just so I can have more of my time back, so I can afford to go on vacation, so I can help take care of my family. Okay, could you do that without $1 million? Could $200,000 a year give you that ability to help support your family, to travel, to have a little freedom? You know what I mean? So it's like when you can understand what it is you want the money for, then you can move on to what I would call step 3 is putting a number on it. Because one, it helps you feel like, okay, this is more realistic than I thought it was. Because before, maybe $1 million seemed like so far-fetched. But then when you break it down, you're like, actually, I can do good with 80,000. Like, that would give me the freedom to do X, Y, Z. I can send my mom, whoever, $500 a month and feel pretty good with that. So now you're starting to realize, like, I actually don't need that much. If I can just get from where I'm at to 100K, just a 6-figure realm, I'd be good. And so now we have a more positive approach to that. We have like, okay, this is actually a possibility. Because that's the other thing is sometimes we set goals we don't even believe in. So there's that misalignment as well. You say, okay, I want $1 million, but if you never believe you can get $1 million, you're not going to get it. But you might believe you can get 200,000. You might believe you can get 80,000. So when you can set believable goals, you're only going to get further. Maybe once you get to 80, I don't like the concept of moving the timelines. I'm not saying once you get 80, now strive for 100 and then strive for 200, because then you're never going to be satisfied, right? But I'm just saying, once you've proven to yourself that I can make 80, then maybe you can go on and double that, make 160, and then who knows where that ends, right? So let's just kind of bring that in and really narrow down, what do you need right now? What are your basic needs? What are your basic desires? And what are like the few luxury tasks or luxury activities or things that you want in your life? Just because life is meant to be enjoyed, right? So that will be our step 3. Let's get a numerical value on that. The fourth thing I would say is to be open to all possibilities. And this is something that I have recently walked into myself, but it's once you know what your purpose is, what you're calling, or what you're looking for, you're open to how that presents itself in any way. And the reason that's important is because if one way is not working, you can simply drop it and move on to the next thing and not feel so attached. We have to detach from that. And detachment happens when you can look at all the possibilities for your life. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that your main purpose, drive, ambition, goal, passion in life is to educate other people, okay? And maybe your way of doing that originally was, okay, the only way I can educate is to get my doctorate, become a professor, and teach at a school. Okay. And so when you think about that, maybe you start to enroll in school, because now you're like, well, what am I going to teach? So we have to figure that out, right? But let's say you enroll in school and then maybe it's too expensive right now, or maybe college isn't really for you. Like you're struggling with the classes, you don't really like the structure, whatever the case may be. And so if you believe that was the only way to get to that goal, when that is not working out, you're meeting this resistance. You're kind of constantly like, okay, this is an uphill battle at this point. Like, I'm not enjoying this journey. Like, I really hate going to my classes. I don't want to do this dissertation. Like, all these feelings, right? But because you believe that this is the only way to be able to teach, you don't let it go and pursue other ventures. But when you can tell yourself, okay, I can teach in many different ways. Teaching can be getting on YouTube and making videos to educate other people. Teaching can be doing a little after school program for the youth and just being there educating them. Teaching can be being a basketball or tennis coach and teaching a skill, yes. But how many people out here have played a sport and got life lessons from their coaches? You don't just get how to be a good soccer or tennis player, basketball player, or football player. You really get life skills and relationship development from your coaches. So maybe that's your avenue. Maybe your avenue, is just working with in a daycare and like helping develop young minds. So it's like there's so many different ways you can be a teacher that isn't just on a PhD level. So when you can really get clear on what it is you want and open yourself to all those possibilities, the money will follow because you're constantly in alignment with who you are on an authentic level and you're feeling good about what you're doing and you're putting that energy out into the world. So yeah, I don't know, that was number 4, number 5, but that would be my fourth thing. My fifth thing will be what we all hear all the time, but it's being able to express gratitude for where you are, because no matter where you are in life, yes, things can always be better, and yes, things can always be worse. So we always have to be grateful for like where we are right now and take a moment to think about things that you once prayed for. You know what I mean? Like there was a time where you were living with your parents and you're like, oh, I can't wait to get my own place. And then you're in your own place. And maybe it's not the mansion, maybe it's not the 3-bed, 2-bath, maybe it's just a small, cute, cozy apartment, but like there you are in your own space. Like you one day wanted that and now you have it. Maybe one day you're like, I can't wait till I get this car paid off. And now you don't have a car note. You're driving around car note free. In a working vehicle, that's something to just sit down and be like, okay, thank you. Like, I'm grateful that I have this thing. I'm grateful that I can pay rent every month and keep a roof over my head. I'm grateful that I can go to the store and buy groceries and put food in my body. I'm grateful that I can afford Starbucks, Dunkin', little cafe coffee every single morning. Like, I'm grateful that I can do these things because this is what my money is allowing me to do, and I'm grateful that I can do it. And when you can take a moment to appreciate knowledge where you are, you're only going to go further. Now, everything I've talked about up until now is more of a theoretical, spiritual, energetic kind of concept, right? But now I'm going to also mention a practical thing. The 5th or 6th thing that I would recommend we do if I were starting my financial health journey over again, is preparation. And so we're going to be mindful and we're going to be strategic with our money. We're going to learn how to divvy it up. We want money for our basic needs. We want money for our experiences and for our fun. So we have to be able to categorize and split that money up that we're making, right? We need money for emergencies so that we don't ever have to take away from our basic needs or our experiences. You know, if your car goes out, you don't want to be like, well, now I got to miss paying rent because I got to pay for this car. You don't want to be like, oh, now I can't go out on that trip, or I can't go to dinner, or I can't do all these fun things because now I got to take care of this car. No, we're going to go ahead and put money aside. So in the case that any random occurrence comes up, because life will always life, we are going to be taken care of. And our life doesn't have to stop or skip a beat because of a minor inconvenience, right? So we need to save money. We need to put that in a high yield savings account so that our money can continue to grow. Okay. And then lastly, we need to divert money to our future self. Okay. Because the you right now watching this video, learning these things, is not going to be the same you 10 years from now. But the you 10 years from now is going to be looking back to the you 10 years ago and be like, what the hell? You know, you had 10 years and you never saved any money from me. Now here I am in this age group and I'm struggling, right? So think of future you as a person you care about, a person that you want to take care of. And go ahead and just give them a little bit of your money too, so that they're going to be all right when the time comes, because you don't know who you're going to be in 10 years. You don't know what you need. You know what I mean? And for all you know, 10 years from now, you could be someone that doesn't even care about money. And so, you know, it doesn't matter. But just have it in case. Like I said, you don't know what 10 years from now you're going to want to be doing with your life. So you want to just have a little bit of cushion, a little bit of something to support whatever you decide to do. Maybe you decide you want to quit your job and move out of the country 10 years from now. But you don't have the money to do that. But imagine if 10 years ago, that version of you saved a little money just in case that's something you would want, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with just saving a little bit just in case. I'm not saying take away from your current experiences to fund the just in cases. I'm saying along with it. We have to be able to do two things at one time. It doesn't have to be one or the other. We're going to do them both, okay? So those are my tips for getting our financial health together before next year, because I know we're all going to set new goals. Finance goals might be one of them. So let's go ahead and get into this mindset now so that we're ready to take off when next year comes. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, you know what to do. Give me that thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. The knowledge we gain is powerful, but it's knowledge we share that makes a difference. So share this video with someone who could use a little boost in their financial health, and I will catch you in my next video. As always, don't forget to crush it.